Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining. All glories to the assembled devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Tapatkam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Raghunathānvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pagana Sakhantam Cha Shri Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta
Radhakanta Namastate
Kanchana
Tapta Kanchana
Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari
Shwari
Anusute
Krishna Sute Devi
Pranamami Hari
Mani
Priye Vanchakaltarubhyascha Kripa
Vanchakrishna
Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna
Shri
Chaitanya
Krishna
Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedant Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारणे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीननाथं परमानन्दमाधवं चैतन्य
Shri Krishna
ईश्वरं
Chaitanya
श्री गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे
Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for joining. Nirbhay Prabhu, can you call my mom on the call? See if she's available to join. Okay, let's get started. So we have to read from 18.70. I'll just recap last time what we discussed. It was actually very interesting because Krishna has come to the end of Bhagavad Gita. So now he is giving us the Shruti Phal of Bhagavad Gita. Like, why should we hear Bhagavad Gita and what happens to the people that hear it, that teach it, and who are the people that should hear it, that are qualified to hear it. So he gives us some qualifications. So he gives us 4 qualities of the people that we should share this knowledge with. He said, do not share this knowledge freely. Share with people that have these qualities. So he gave us 4 basic qualifications of the people that can benefit from Bhagavad Gita. He said they should be, do not give this knowledge to people that are not austere, na tapaskaya. People that are not austere, meaning people that are very much into sense gratification or enjoyment of this world. They are just into eating, sleeping, mating, defending, all those kind of things. They are not very qualified to hear because they still want to just enjoy this world. Samsara vasana is not tuch yet, right? So they want to enjoy this world. They're not austere. Na abhaktaya, they are not a devotee, meaning that they do not want to cultivate any love for Krishna. They do not have any service attitude. They do not think he's supreme personality of Godhead. So to them, this knowledge is just like any other, self-help book or just a motivational, instructional type of book. So they will not benefit really from this. Ashushrushrave means do not, people that may be a devotee, may be austere, self-controlled, but they do not listen faithfully. Like they have many doubts. Their doubts are so deep-seated that we cannot get rid of them. They may have some love for some deity, some service attitude, there's some self-control. There are many people like that. But they do not have very much faith. They do not have that surrender type of feeling for the guru, for the speaker, for the kathakar, for Prabhupada or whoever, for Krishna. So they're very they do not listen very faithfully. So they will not really apply this knowledge in their life, and they will just listen loosey-goosey, superficial type of understanding. So do not give it to them either, because these people are liable to distort the knowledge. They can present the knowledge whimsically. They will not give the real import of Krishna Prem that needs to be given through Bhagavad Gita. And then the last disqualification is, Krishna says, people that are envious Envious means people that are envious of Krishna. So they do not want to accept his authority, his proprietorship, that he's a supreme maintainer, supreme creator, he's the cause of all causes, he's the source of all sources, he's a supreme person, the Param Purushottam Bhagwan. They do not have that. They have that this enviousness ki, why Krishna? Why don't I get to enjoy it? Why don't I keep myself in center? Why doesn't everyone serve me? Why serve Krishna? Why is there so much Krishna Krishna in Bhagavad Gita? It should be about me. It should be about how to fix my life. So they're very much envious of the Lord. So those people are also not very qualified. So these people, you will see, and I was mentioning that we see many people come and go in Bhagavad Gita classes, not many last, not many practice. Some will hear, some will not even hear properly. Some hear and try to apply, but don't apply faithfully, don't go deep into the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita because of all these problems. But we also discussed that regardless, as devotees, we do not know what somebody's qualifications or disqualifications are. Because practically everybody in this age, in this Kali Yuga and in this material world is disqualified. Nobody has actually the qualification to hear this knowledge. Okay? So those qualities that Krishna wants, actually nobody has, including, like me or anybody. Nobody has those qualities. So what nobody should hear Bhagavad Gita? We can't do that. So rather what devotees do is not that they defy Krishna's order, but what they do is they try to give this knowledge to everybody and try to engage everyone, and then try to see whoever wants to stay on the path. They try to guide them more sincerely, people that are sincerely listening, faithfully coming, faithfully wants to serve. They have this soft heart, which is like soft heart is like a fertile soil for this knowledge to manifest. So if they have soft heart, they want to serve, they want to listen, they want to try to apply some of this in their life, then we try to guide them more sincerely. But some people that will express a lot of enviousness, they're very arrogant or very critical of the Bhagavad Gita or of Krishna or of Prabhupada or of speaker, then we don't waste too much time and energy on such people. So this is what devotees do, knowing that we cannot understand anybody's qualifications or disqualifications. We freely distribute this knowledge and we test the waters and see how much somebody is interested. Not force anybody, gently guide them on the path. If they're interested, they come, they attend, they serve, they apply the knowledge in their life, they start following some practices, they start chanting, and like that they can be encouraged further. But we don't force this to anyone. Hare Krishna, Sonal Mataji, thank you for joining us. I think you're joining from New York.
Hi, Hare Krishna. No, I'm joining from North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes, I am Namita's sister-in-law.
Yes, Mataji, she told us about you. Thank you for joining.
Yes, thank you.
Mataji, I was just recapping last time's class. We have come to the end of Bhagavad Gita. Of course, we'll start it again once we finish. But this portion is also very nice to hear, because Krishna tells us which people should hear this knowledge and who to give this knowledge to and what happens by hearing this knowledge. So this is the understanding Krishna gave us, that these 4 qualities are needed in people to understand Bhagavad Gita, to apply this knowledge, and for Bhagavad Gita to make a real transformation in somebody's heart. Okay, because Bhagavad Gita is not a book. So this is another thing we have to understand. Like scriptures, we should not think of them as a book. Okay, like I was sharing last time, this is living, breathing wisdom. Okay, this is Krishna speaking to us through this book. Okay, this is not just a book. It is something that will expand in your consciousness to the degree, to the level that you allow it to expand. It will manifest as deeply in your heart. It will take root as deeply in your heart as you allow. So if your consciousness is very contracted, very limited, because you have too many bad qualities, anarthas, you're very critical and judgmental and envious, all those things, and you're not trying to purify yourself, you're not trying to apply the process at all, then Bhagavad Gita knowledge will just remain very superficial, very philosophical, but not really make any transformation in the heart. Like, people say, oh, Ravan was such a pandit, or Hiranyakashipu knew all the knowledge, Hiranyaksh knew all the knowledge, yet they were demons. Because knowledge is not everything. Just having the knowledge is not everything. This is the knowledge that this gyan needs to become vigyan. Okay. So this is a science book. Okay, this is the type of wisdom that will grow, that will expand with you, and create a revolution in your life if you allow it to. But if you are very um, doubtful about the process, you're not chanting the names, you don't want to do any deity worship, you don't want to attend any classes, you don't want to read any Bhagavad Gita, you don't want to go deep into the knowledge, then Krishna or Bhagavad Gita will reciprocate with you accordingly. Okay? अगर आप एक कदम जाओगे, वो भी एक कदम ही आपके पास आएगी. अगर आप भागना चाहते हो, तो वो भागते हुए आपके पास आएगी. Same thing with Krishna, right? Krishna and Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's instructions are not different from Krishna. So Krishna reciprocates according to our level of desires to go deep into it. If we want to go deep into it, like I have example here, Poonam Mataji, Rekha Mataji, Namita Mataji, they're such wonderful examples. They read Bhagavad Gita, they underline, they write in the margins their questions, they send me messages to say, hey, what does this mean? I'm confused about this particular line or this particular concept. Can you clarify for me? They are like reading every day certain number of verses. So they really have this deep hankering to understand this knowledge. And so Krishna will also reciprocate accordingly. नहीं तो भगवद गीता बहुत लोगों ने पढ़ी है, लेकिन किसी को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. The फर्क, जो difference है, that will only be felt if you try to apply this knowledge in your life. Then the gyan becomes vigyan. So vigyan means a practical, experimental knowledge, not just a hypothesis, but when you apply that hypothesis and see it coming true in your own life, that's called vigyan. That's a applied knowledge. Okay, and you can see the fruits, you can see it fructify in your life, how you transform, how your anarthas go away, how your desires get cleansed, get dovetailed towards Krishna, how things start happening in your life by Krishna's arrangement. You can see Krishna's plans shaping your life. So those things will happen only if we go deep into it. So then we also discussed last time that, I'll just pull up the verse here, the last verse, that Krishna says, people that preach this knowledge, people that teach this knowledge, give me 1 second.
I'll just read the translation. Hare Krishna. So, there is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. So, this is talking about the no servant means. So, here they are talking about, Krishna is talking about his devotees who are spreading his name of and spreading this knowledge of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna consciousness, about how to lead a life which is per the principles of the scriptures. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Naibe Prabhu. So he says, those people that spread my message, these instructions, they're very dear to me. And we also discussed that it's not just preaching, like I'm preaching. No, not like this, not just sitting and talking about it. That's actually the last step. But before that, we have to make other people's hearts soft and fertile to receive this knowledge. So receiving this knowledge can be the last step actually. But before that, we have to give sukriti to people. We are not able to even come to these classes or even get in touch with Bhagavad Gita until we have enough sukriti or spiritual credits in our life. So you all are actually very, very, elevated people. You have so many spiritual credits, pious credits, that you're able to, hear Bhagavad Gita. You have a desire to read Bhagavad Gita, go deep into it. So what a preacher can do is they can give sukriti to people, give them services to do, give them prasad to eat, chant Harinam on the street so they can hear Lord Hari's names, even when they don't want to. They're just walking on the street, they're just going for a movie, they have no plans for any of the devotional songs, but suddenly they hear Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And there is beautiful kartal playing, and then there is mridang playing, and there are devotees dancing, and they see this visual and they're mesmerized by this. What is this? Who are these people? They're not going for a movie, but they are so joyful. I just watched this movie, but I'm not feeling that joy. I'm not. I just ate this huge dinner at a restaurant, this expensive restaurant where I spent like $150 on a dinner for 2 people, and I'm not feeling this type of bliss, this type of deep satisfaction. What is going on? Who are these people? They're jumping with joy. They're dancing. And this song, this names. What is this? This is tugging at my heart. This is pulling the strings of my heart. So this is how people will get Sukriti, just unknowingly, unbeknownst to them, they are getting pulled towards Krishna. So we can give Sukriti. So Sukriti, so preaching is not just from Vyasas, and preaching is not just like this, speaking from as a teacher, but also through services, through book distribution. Book distribution is actually the topmost preaching. Then through prasadam, through harinam, through Rath Yatra. Rath Yatra is a very big way of giving darshan, because Lord has come out of the temple. Those people that did not want to go to the temple, there are people that don't want to go to the temple. They don't have enough faith. They don't have enough sukriti to even get them into temple. And Jagannath temple, for example, has many restrictions on who can enter into the temple. So Jagannath ji says, okay, there are so many restrictions to come into my temple, then I'll come out. I'll give darshan to each and every soul. And they can tug on his rope. They can even touch it. There are verses that come in Padma Purana and many other Puranas that tell you just touching the rope of Jagannath ji gives you, eliminates so many of your sinful reactions and gives you so much pious credit. So just tugging the rope, just looking, even if you didn't get to tug the rope of the Rath, but you just got to see Jagannath ji, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, that gives you so many pious credits. Then just attending Aarti, building temples so that people can get deity worship, people can get darshan of the deities. They will come just as out of piety, they will come to temple and attend Aarti, let them give donations for different things to sponsor a prasad or sponsor a program or something. Or book distribution, like I said, that's the best preaching. And that's very purifying for us also. So Krishna says, whoever does this service for me, there is no servant in the world that is more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. So whoever wants to become dear to Krishna, this is it. There you go. Krishna has given the recipe, the perfect recipe. You just have to cook it now and apply in your life. That if you want to become dear to Krishna, then start preaching, start teaching this. Understand this knowledge yourself, study this yourself, and then preach it to others. That's the best way to become dear. So this was our discussion last time. We discussed, of course, many more things, but just to catch up the new people today. And then let's go to next verse, 18.70. So this is a lead and follow. I'll recite, please follow. Adheshyate cha ya imam. Adheshyate cha ya imam. Dharmayam samvadam avayo. Dharmayam samvadayam avayo. Please feel free to recite after me. These reciting these verses is also spiritual credits. So we are reciting not just any words of this mundane material world. We are reciting Krishna's words. Krishna has spoken these himself. These words are not by any purush. They are aparushya. They are Ved Vakya. So we should recite these. So please feel free to unmute and recite after me. Let's try one more time. Adheshyate cha ya imam.
Adheshyate cha ya imam.
Dharmayam samvadam avayo. Dharmayam
samvadam avayo.
Jnana yagyena tenaham.
Jnana yagnena tenaham.
Ishtasyam iti me mati.
Ishtasyam iti me mati.
Yeah, we should recite, okay? Remember that famous verse where Krishna says that I do not live in Vaikuntha. Naham tishtami Vaikunthe. Yogi naam hrideshuva. ना मैं योगियों के हृदय में रहता हूँ. यत्र गायन्ति मद भक्ता तत्र तिष्ठामि नारदा. कि O Narad, I do not live in Vaikuntha and I do not live in the hearts of any yogis. Where my devotees sing my glories, that's where I reside. So you think Krishna is not hearing you right now? Krishna is everywhere. He's hearing you. He's the Paramatma inside you. He's hearing this. So speak for him. Speak loudly for him so he can hear. Don't just think we don't have to show our love. Show your love. Krishna wants to see your love for him. So he's a very bhavgrahi Janardhan. Show him your love by reciting these prayers as loudly as you can. That's why we chant Lord's name, just not in the mind. We speak it properly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Speak it, each and every word properly. Let Krishna see your love, just like you express your love for your children and for your loved ones. Speak his own words, offer them as prayers to him. जैसे गंगा में गंगा का पानी देते हैं, ऐसे ही offer his own words to him as a prayer. Okay, so who wants to read this translation?
Can I read, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Sorry.
Namita Mataji, aap pad lo. Rekha Mataji, can you read the next one?
Yes, Mataji, I can.
Sure. Hari Bol. And I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worship me by his intelligence. Hari Bol.
Very good. Let's do the next one also. Actually, we can take them together. 71. So let's recite and read. Shraddhavan anasuyascha, Shraddhavan anusuyascha, Shrunuyadapi yo nara, Shrunuyadapi yo nara, So api mukta subhalokan, So api
Mukta subhalokan,
Prapannuyat punya karmanam,
Prapanniyat punya karmanam.
Okay, Mataji, you want to read this one? Rekha Mataji, were you reading?
Yes, Mataji, sorry. And one who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. Hare Krishna.
So Krishna is giving us Shrutifal, okay? What happens when you hear this conversation, when you read this conversation, when you study it deeply with faith, and who are the people that we should give this knowledge to, okay? Those are the things now he's discussing. So he said, so before he said that whoever preaches this knowledge, whoever gives this knowledge is very dear to me. Now he's saying, I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. So he said that somebody who preaches this is very dear to me. So if you want to preach this knowledge to somebody, first of all, you need to study it yourself, right? Padhoge tabhi padhaoge na. So you have to study it yourself, this sacred conversation. You have to like deeply go into it, try to understand, hear many lectures and underline each and every word and clear your doubts from a bona fide master, from a bona fide teacher. And then once you have studied it, you can also start teaching it, right? And it's not like all your doubts have to be cleared before you can start preaching it, or all your concepts have to be crystal clear. Remember that we can never know Krishna's instructions or Krishna completely. Devotees know this, okay? Devotees know that Krishna is inconceivable. He has only revealed certain aspects of himself to us. That's why these scriptures are called revealed scriptures. This much knowledge is revealed to us. You might have seen this word many times mentioned in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Revealed scriptures, meaning this much amount of knowledge is revealed for the humans, for the Manushya species. So doesn't mean that we know everything, and we don't aspire to know everything. The goal is not to know Krishna. The goal is to love and serve Krishna. So we just have to know enough to develop a hankering, to develop a desire to know more and to love. Once you understand, oh, this is Krishna, how wonderful he is. He's my supreme father. He's the supreme creator. He has given me everything that I have. He's source of all my blessings. You know, he's looking after me. He's my best friend. He's my best well-wisher. And look at all his pastimes, so sweet, so nectarian, so wonderful. He's reciprocating with me like this. You know, when that kind of knowledge manifests in your heart and love starts awakening, that is the goal of this knowledge. So goal of this knowledge is not to know everything. So studying does not mean that you will know everything ever. You will know 100% and somebody's grading you on it. The goal is the topmost grade is when you develop love and service attitude for him. When you get purified of your anarthas, when you are cleansed of the impurities within your heart, when transformation happens, that is the proof that this knowledge has worked. इसलिए बोलते हैं ना, proof lies in the eating of the pudding. So proof of pudding lies in eating it. So you have to eat it. So you have to study this Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna says, whoever studies this Bhagavad Gita worships me by intelligence. So you know that our body is made of 5 senses. That's our gross body. Okay, 5 senses. And our subtle body is made of three elements called mind, intelligence, and ego. Man, buddhi, ahankar. Okay, three elements. Out of mind, intelligence, ego, and senses, which one is getting engaged? Let me ask you this question. Which one is getting engaged when we chant the names of the Lord? Just हम chanting कर रहे हैं बैठ के. What are we engaging when we are chanting? What is the, like, many things may be getting engaged, but what is the one thing that we are mostly engaging?
Mind.
Yes. Hari bol.
Mataji, tongue हमारा.
Tongue be, yes. Senses be, yes. Tongue be, and ears, because you're speaking it, so you can hear it. And you're touching the beads, so touch also. And if you're sitting in front of deities or Tulsi Maharani in the temple, then your vision is getting engaged because you can see the deities and Tulsi Maharani, right? So many senses can be getting engaged. But the most important element of our body that's getting engaged is mind. Okay? So that's why it's called mantra. Manastrayate iti mantra. Okay, so mind is getting engaged when we chant. When we do deity worship, let's say, what is the main element of the body that's getting, let's say आप flower offer करते हो या धूप offer करते हो, what is the, which element of our body is getting engaged?
Eyes, Mataji.
Huh?
Eyes. Wow.
Yes. Yes, Mataji, eyes and nose, right? Because you can smell the incense, and flowers. Flowers are given to, after offering to the Lord. We give flower to the devotees to smell, right? So sabhi log flower smell karte hain na. So that smell, and then lamp ko aap dekh.
Touch.
Touch also, yes. When you do the DT services, various DT services, your touch would be getting engaged. And then, okay, so senses are getting engaged when we do different aspects of DT worship, right? When you circumambulate Tulsi Maharani or a temple or DTs, what is getting engaged? You're doing path sevanam. So your feet, your karmendriya. Karmendriya kya hoti hai? Not gyanendriya. Your karmendriya, which is feet, is getting engaged. Okay, so then when we are reading scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, and we do, Srimad Bhagavatam class in the evening, so what is getting engaged when we are reading scriptures? Which element?
Mind.
Mind, okay.
Mind.
Importantly?
Ear.
Ear.
Ears, okay. What else? There is one, the prime element, like ये बाकी सब भी engage हो सकते हैं एक सेवा में. In one seva, multiple things may be getting engaged, but what is the main thing?
Intelligence.
Yes.
Intelligence.
Intelligence. That's why Krishna is saying, one who studies this Bhagavad Gita, this conversation, worships me by his intelligence. क्योंकि आपकी intelligence use होती है. That's why, if you see, you know that mind is very difficult to control, right? That's why chanting the names is harder, doing japa is harder than, let's say, listening to a class or reading the books. Do you agree? You agree that chanting
Yes.
is harder than hearing a class? Hearing a class, reading a book is easier? Is that right?
Yes.
Why? Because mind is very chanchal. So since in
Chanchal.
japa, mind is getting engaged, it's hard to control. But intelligence is easier to engage. That's why when we read scriptures, when are writing our notes or various questions or understandings, realizations, that is easy. Studying and hearing is easy, right? So it's like intelligence se aap kar rahe ho worship. So, and then when you apply this knowledge appropriately in your life, like Krishna says, Prabhupada gives us the path of how to apply this knowledge in our life, then that is also worshipping him by intelligence. How much to apply, how to apply. This is all called Buddhi Yoga. That's why Krishna consciousness is sometimes synonymously called Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga meaning engaging you to say, for example, I'll give you an example. We know that Krishna said that we should preach. So what are we doing? Various programs. We're doing like home programs. We did Janmashtami program. So what are you doing? You all come together. You are thinking, kaise kare, what, you're using your intelligence in various services. Okay, we should do this. We should have cultural program. We should have a class. We should have some kirtan. We should have some prasadam cooked by the devotees. We should have some arti and deity worship going on. So you're using your intelligence on how to engage people, because we want to become dear to Krishna. So Krishna says preaching is most dear to me. So how do I preach? I have to take out this knowledge to the masses. We have to hold programs for the masses. so that many people can hear this, right? So then you engage your intelligence. That's why Krishna consciousness path is also called Buddhi Yoga, because you use your intelligence on how to apply this knowledge in your life and how to engage your intelligence in various services. So isko Buddhi Yoga bhi bolte hain. So like we are, right now we are trying to make a calendar for next year. Each year we make a calendar with Krishna conscious paintings. So that's like a very interesting service where you are engaging. Yes, your mind is engaged when you're painting, but the concept of the calendar is engaging your intelligence, right? The concept that, people will be making many Krishna conscious paintings, and they'll be thinking of Krishna when they're making those paintings. So that's a preaching endeavor. Similarly, when we do programs, or when we do Rath Yatras, or when we do Harinam on the streets, or when we do book distribution, so we are engaging our intelligence. So Krishna says studying Bhagavad Gita is basically, but studying scriptures comes under the umbrella of using your intelligence. So this is Buddhi Yoga. Now, who can tell me in 10th chapter, whoever has read Bhagavad Gita deeply, and I think maybe, I know that mom doesn't like to answer questions, but she can tell me this. Krishna says in a verse that I give the intelligence from within to those people that are trying to apply this in their life. So whoever are constantly engaged in my services, like all these services that we mentioned, I give them the intelligence from within. I light the shining lamp of knowledge from within, which destroys all the darkness of ignorance and gives them the knowledge. So I manifest this knowledge within the heart. Somebody can answer.
10.9, I think.
Yes. Would you like to recite?
I don't remember fully. Sorry.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. Matchitta. Yeah, 10.9 is close, but yeah, you can recite 10.9 also.
I'm not very sure.
Okay.
Tesham, do you remember the Tesham ones? Tesham
Haan,
Satata?
Yes. Can Namita Mataji share Nirbhay Prabhu for 1 second? Namita Mataji was speaking before you. Yes, Mataji.
Machita madgata prana bodhayanta parasaparam gatyachantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanati cha.
Hari bol. 3 times Hari bol for Namita Mataji. Very nice, Mataji. Hari bol. Hari
Haribol.
So this is a part of, I'll show you on my screen. This is called Chatur Shloki Bhagavad Gita. Nirbhay Prabhu, you can recite after this. Okay, 1 second. Let me just share my screen. This is for all those that want to know. Bhagavad Gita, a sense or sar is given in these 4 verses. This is called Chatur Shloki Bhagavad Gita, 10.8 to 10.11. So Krishna says, जो माताजी ने बोला, the thoughts of my devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from enlightening one another and conversing about me. Now, the one that Nirbhay Prabhu was talking about are these 2. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. This is the one I was talking about. I give the understanding. So if you show some devotion, some service attitude, then Krishna will make this knowledge very clear to you. I give the understanding. He says, I give the Buddhi Yoga by which you can come to me. And then he says to show them special mercy. So if you engage yourself in services, look at so many things happen. I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So if you're trying to engage in some services and show some devotion and faith and service attitude to Krishna, then I from within will give the understanding. So all this knowledge will very easily, you will see. And people that are trying, you can see that the knowledge is becoming easier and easier as you're going forward in your studying of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is giving this understanding from within. It's not by our own efforts. I know there are so many scholars, so many people that boast that we know all 700 verses. But what is the point of you knowing all 700 verses, Prabhupada would say, if you cannot apply even one in your life? And this is the application point here, that if you are devoted to me, if you're serving me, then I show them special mercy. And what is my mercy? That I, living within their hearts as Paramatma, give them this knowledge from within, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge this darkness born of ignorance. I will give the understanding by which they can come to me. So the path will be made clear by Krishna. So our own efforts actually are just enough to show Krishna that we love him, we want to serve him, we want to come back to him, and then he makes the path clear. Okay, Nirbhay Prabhu, please recite these 2 verses.
Hare Krishna. Tesham tat satata yuktanam vashtam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogantam yena mama pyantate. Teshameva anukampartham aham chantama nashami atma bhavasto jnanadipena bhasvata. So the first one talks about that I give them the understanding. Tesham satata yuktanam bhashtam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam. To those who love me with love and who remember me with love and devotion, dadami buddhi yogam. To those I give the intelligence so that they can attain me. Jnanadipena bhasvata. The next one is Tesham eva anukampartham aham jantama nashami atma bhavasto jnanadipena bhasvata. That those, due to my anukampa means due to my, we call it causeless mercy. Causeless means that actually we can't do anything to, we can just try our best, but we can do nothing to say that I deserve this, because we only know what we are doing now. We don't know what we have done in the past, and so many other reasons. So anukampa is the causeless mercy. So by my causeless mercy, by Krishna, he can, being the Paramatma inside our heart, by his causeless mercy, he can light this shining lamp of knowledge through which we can understand him.
Very good. Yeah, Gyan so with the lamp of knowledge. So he will give us the knowledge. And then so then this is our verse that we were reading, that you should study it. And so of course, if you बोल that पढ़ो पढ़ाओ life बनाओ. So Moglila Prabhu says, इसलिए पढ़ो, खुद भी पढ़ो और then दूसरों को भी पढ़ाओ Bhagavad Gita. So that's what we need to do. And this is the mood of all our acharyas in this movement, that they go around teaching this knowledge of Krishna's instructions, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's names, forms, qualities, pastimes, and instructions to everybody that they meet. So this verse comes in Bhagavatam, which says, great personalities almost always accept voluntary suffering because of the suffering of people in general. This is considered the highest method of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is present in everyone's heart. What is the suffering that they have accepted? That they like to go around teaching this knowledge. Oh my Lord, great philanthropic souls travel on the earth on behalf of Supreme Lord to show compassion to the fallen souls who are averse to the sense of subordination to the Lord. So people that are averse to the sense of subordination to the Lord, they're very envious to the Lord. They don't want to become his servants. They don't accept that there is a supreme authority over them. They want to be in the center themselves. They want to be have the lordship themselves. So, but to those fallen souls, these great philanthropic, these very merciful, munificent souls travel on the earth. That's why we say, like for Prabhupada, for Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, we say Parivajak Acharya. Parivajak means the one who travels around giving this knowledge. So these are like the spiritual warriors. They have read this knowledge, they have studied this, and now they're preaching it. And for that, they suffer a lot. They accept voluntary suffering. That's why our acharyas are so dear to us, because they accept voluntary suffering. People deride them, when they go somewhere and teach this knowledge. People become envious. People deride them, condemn, criticize. People are just sitting to judge everybody, right? They are very condescending, critical people in this world, very fallen souls. And so they do not understand the mood of these acharyas who have accepted voluntary suffering. Like Prabhupada could have just stayed in Vrindavan. Vrindavan was so dear to him. He said, Vrindavan is my home. And he was so comfortable. He was, living in Radha Damodar temple. His room was opposite the Samadhi of Srila Rup Goswami. And he was getting all the inspiration from Srila Rup Goswami. And yet, because of the order of his Guru Maharaj, that you need to spread this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to the Western world, to the English-speaking world, he gave up the comforts of Vrindavan. He traveled on a cargo ship, okay, like almost a month-long journey where he suffered 2 heart attacks. And then he came to US with nothing, practically had just like $40 with him, which is nothing. And all he had was a Bhagavatam that he had written and just some books. And with that, he started this whole movement. So you can see Krishna's reciprocation with him and so many others we see. Krishna's reciprocation with those people that are trying to serve him, that are trying to spread this knowledge, because they're very dear to him. So Krishna does not tolerate any insult of these people, because they have accepted voluntary suffering, and they are very, very dear to Krishna. So these are like spiritual warriors. one of our Shiksha gurus, he says these are spiritual influencers. You know, this is the age of influencers. You might have seen influencers on Instagram and Facebook. Sabhi jagah influencer hote hain, mostly body related cheezon ke liye. But actually these are spiritual influencers. These are spiritual disruptors. So they create a revolution in your life. They create a disruption in your life. Suddenly your material attachments are broken. Suddenly you have come in contact with Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Suddenly Krishna has entered your life. And when Krishna enters your life, you know, he takes over. So he takes over the reins, like he took over the reins of Arjuna's chariot. He drives the chariot. And you are not in control anymore. So he's the one in control. You give your reins to him. So this is how Krishna enters into the lives of people by the mercy of these wonderful spiritual disruptors and influencers. Then we read this verse where Krishna says, and then anyone, so you have studied it, now you're teaching it to people. So anyone who will listen with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. So people, the qualification is that people should be hearing with faith and without envy. Very important. This is like the basic qualification of hearing something. Just like you go to, you know, any college or university, let's say, you know, when I went to medical school, I do not doubt the words of my physics professor or my chemistry professor or my physiology or anatomy teacher. If he says this, in this body, this is the nerve, this is the particular blood vessel, then I will believe it. I'm not going to, you know, so we have faith. Yes, we can clarify our doubts, but there is faith that whatever, you know, he's telling me, I don't know anything, whatever he's teaching me is correct. And without envy, there is no envy for the speaker or for the translator or for Prabhupada and for Krishna. There should not be any envy for the Guru Varga. So without envy and with faith, when somebody hears, then this knowledge enters the heart and it becomes free from sinful reactions. So that person will become free from, so whatever his leftover karmic reactions, his cosmic, you can say it's a cosmic debt that he has, that he still owes to this material world. You know, we all owe some debts to this material world. For existing here, we have created a lot of sinful reactions. All those reactions will be freed, and then that person will attain to the auspicious planets, like he'll get a lot of piety. Of course, this is not the goal of the devotees to just get to auspicious planets, but in the purport and in the lectures of devotees, they describe that not everybody will come to the classes with the idea of becoming devotee. Yes, the goal is to become devotee, the goal is to enter pure devotional service, but at least people will become pious and they will lose their sinful reactions to begin with. And then slowly this faith starts increasing, slowly the envy starts going away. And they may not be very interested initially in going deep into Bhagavad Gita, but as the faith becomes stronger and envy goes away and bad qualities go away, and they see transformation happening in their life, they may even end up on the path of pure devotional service. But at least they will get pious credits, and they can elevate their consciousness. They can go to higher planets or higher species. They can get a better birth, better opportunities in life. So I'll pause here and let's hear from everybody, see what realizations or questions you have, especially our new devotees, if they have any questions. Who wants to share? Nirbhay Prabhu, you want to share something?
Hare Krishna. So one thing that is very confusing, or that I find even till date to understand very well, is envy. That when we say we are envious of Krishna, what does that mean? Because we are not like, ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं कोई बैठ के सोचता हूँ, oh, कृष्णा के पास ये है, मेरे पास क्यों नहीं है? Nobody thinks like that, right? No, so there is no direct envy, but still all of us are envious, and that is why we are here. So so that's a little difficult concept to understand easily. And then when we are saying in Bhagavad Gita that people who are envious, we should not tell this information to them or share this information to them, that is also not a very clear concept. You described it very well, that envy to the devotees, envy to the words of Krishna, envy to the knowledge, that is partly. But I'm just sharing that it's not an easy thing to understand. It is and to realize. And
Yes,
sometimes
very nice question. Let's try to
let me say
understand.
one more thing.
Uh-huh.
One more thing I want to say is about because that is very common that when we are saying we are not envious to Krishna, then it's also about because you mentioned this today that to understand that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So it is one of our offenses to think of the other demigods to be equal to Krishna or Lord Shiva. They're at different platforms. So to not accept that is actually a part of it. Hare Krishna.
Devo. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Very nice question. Envy is envy is the most is the last anartha to go, very important, and there is no way envy can be used in the service of the Lord. You must have heard this, There is Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, and Mad. These 5 things can be used in the service of Krishna. But Matsarya or envy cannot be used in the service of Krishna. So envy just has to be killed, just has to go. Namita Mataji, were you sharing something? Let's hear from you, Pele.
Mataji, it's a little bit, it's not clear to me, envy. When we're talking about envy towards Krishna, I don't feel that way, like envy towards Krishna, like you feel envy towards
Mataji, you
people.
don't have any envy for anyone. So that's
No, I'm trying to, no, Mataji, it's not that. I'm trying to understand, like, am I not getting something? Because envy you feel towards more people, but not towards Lord. Like Krishna, you don't feel, I don't know, I'm having difficulty understanding this. Envy you don't feel towards Krishna. Krishna, it's just, you just feel overflowing love, like, but not envy. So am I missing something?
Yes, Madhu, you're missing envy. That's what I know. You and Nirbhay Prabhu are such pure souls. I mean, you have no tinge of envy in each of you. So that's why the concept of envy is
Really
hard for you
trying
to
to
understand.
understand what am I missing? Because like envy you feel towards people. Yes, I feel envy towards people, like to your, to your colleagues or to your friend, whatever, you feel towards people, definitely. But towards Lord, you don't feel envy,
Mataji,
it's
बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन आप लोगों ने पोज किया है Mataji, you will okay, especially for you, Nirbhay Prabhu, and people that I all the people that I know here, you don't have any trace of envy in any of you, and you would really have to put yourself in the shoes of an envious person or atheistic person to understand this concept of envy. But let's understand this because it's a very nice question. So let's understand. Let me ask you another question उससे पहले. जैसे हम बोलते हैं, sometimes we say that we are envious of other living entities. That's why we kill them. That's why we eat meat. जैसे कोई कह सकता है, I'm not eating meat because I'm envious of them. So give me some one-line answer that explains that use of word envy in that type of statement. Either of you or anybody else. Why do we say that we are envious, that meat eating, for example, is a sign of enviousness against other living entities? What does that mean? 1 or 2 line can be answered. Let's see what you understand.
Could it be
So my
sense
understanding
gratification?
But that's not envy. Sense gratification mein kya envy hai?
Because if you're killing an animal to eat,
Hmm.
you're like fulfilling your senses,
Yeah, but where does the concept of envy come? But why I'm not killing the
Envy
cow.
could come in the form of anger too, right?
No, that's a different anartha. Like, why am I killing the cow?
So it's the enjoyer propensity. So that is my understanding. That's being the enjoyer. So we are trying to become the enjoyers, whereas the enjoyer should be only Krishna. But here we are trying to enjoy by eating or killing another living entity. So that enjoying propensity is the envy.
But enjoy is kind of like linked to sense gratification, right?
Okay, I'll tell you the answer. So you're almost on the right path, but just the right words need to be there. So to think that only I have the right to live, right to exist, but the other living entity, can be forsaken, can be given up. They do not have the right to live. Okay, so that's enviousness, right? So yes, it is. You're doing it for sense gratification. You could be doing it for anything. You're doing it out of, like you said, out of anger, out of sense gratification. You could be doing it out of certain particular desires or greed or whatever the reason is. But the reason is that you don't think that that animal deserves to live. You think that I deserve to live, I deserve to be to continue my life cycle and progress on this path. But it doesn't matter if this animal dies. I don't care about their existence. Their existence is not needed. So that's enviousness against other species. Does that make sense?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Yes, and just real quickly, could it also be because everyone was talking? I think it geared me towards this feeling that, you know, when we kill animals, animals are given certain powers that are more powerful than us. We are the weakest of all creation, but, you know, mightiest as, at the same time. But because like lion, you know, or deers are, they have beautiful eyes. They are very fast runners. And so you're like, you're envious. Like, why do they have better looking? Like, I'm the only superior one. Why is this one given more than myself? Could that have something in the envious role?
Yes, Majid, nice point. Nice point. I've not heard of that type of understanding, but yeah, that definitely. Hunting, for example, can be. I'm not sure meat eating could be explained by that. Meat eating is more in the category of like Rekha Mataji and Nirbhay Prabhu saying sense gratification and enjoy propensity, that we have a right to enjoy everything that exists and we can kill them for our sense gratification. And but hunting like you're saying, just for our sports, it's fine to, you know, just destroy another life. They don't have a right to live, they don't have a right to exist. So yeah, that could be one of the understanding. Very nice point, Mataji. So yeah, so this is envy. We're thinking that we are supreme, we are keeping ourselves in center. So keeping yourself in center, keep thinking I am the supreme, I am the Lord, there cannot be anybody other superior to me. So to fulfill my needs, my demands, others can be sacrificed, or others need to humble themselves in front of me. I can take lives with hunting or meat eating. So that's why that's called enviousness. Similarly, now since you are devotees, it's very difficult for you to understand the concept of enviousness against Krishna. But like you can understand enviousness against other people. Why does that person have more money than me? Why is that person more beautiful than me? Why do they have better house, better car, whatever? Then, you know, comparison, basically comparing this. Now, remember, some of this, there is a different, there are two terms. In English, there are two terms. One is envy, one is jealousy. Okay. Do you know that? Does anyone know the difference between envy and jealousy? There is a difference. One is less, uh, you can say, harmful. The other is more harmful. Which one do you think is more harmful?
Harmful than envy.
Say that again, Mataji.
Is jealousy less harmful than envy? Envy is more harmful.
Yes. Why is that?
Envy, when envy comes, you get more more, should I say, dangerous, or like it's more, you get more scary, I guess.
Yes. Envy is next step to jealousy. Jealousy is to just feel mentally, you know, compare with somebody and think that I want to be superior. How come that person gets to be superior? I want to be in the center. How come that person gets to be in the center? Like that. That's jealousy. Envy is when when the jealousy becomes so much bigger, okay, that you take action about it, that you start doing something about it, that you are ready to harm the other person. Like you may spread gossips about oh, this person is getting more attention, let me spread gossips about this person. Or this person has that car, I wanted that car, how come I didn't get it, let me destroy it, huh, kuch karke kharab kar diya. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, their I don't know, their pay is more, so I'll go complain to the boss and spread some rumors about him, something like that, where people behave in envious ways. So when jealousy manifests into some harmful behavior or action on your part, it becomes envy. Okay, so the envy is an extreme case of jealousy, basically. Okay, jealousy is more in the heart, but envy is also in the actions. So that's why when we kill, that's why I took the example of animals, because that's easy to understand. Or even within our devotees, or not devotees are not envious, but within general people, ordinary people, their dealings with each other can be very envious type of dealings, as you see in the world around us. Now, when same concept when applied to Krishna, okay, this you can call it atheism, when people want to completely negate the existence of a supreme lord, that there is no supreme lord, the world is running by itself, it's just by our when man and woman come together, and then that's how the progenies move forward, and then it's by science, and God has no role, those well, I won't say the name, the famous Big Bang theory, that's how the world originated. And there are so many other theories like that, and so many philosophers. There was a German philosopher, Nietzsche, who said some very atheistic things, how God, and they try to prove the existence, that there is no existence of God, that God does not exist. They spend their whole life proving it. And then they see God in the form of death at the end, and they realize, oh, Lord always existed, but he's come in this dreadful form for us. Anyway, so this is this type of atheistic behavior, this type of keeping yourself in center, not agreeing to the words of Krishna, and maybe even distorting it, saying that, oh, Bhagavad Gita is a book that teaches us to fight, or taking distorted meanings, perverted meanings from Bhagavad Gita, that we should somebody said something bad to me, so I'm going to kill him, because Krishna said, Arjun, to kill those people that are against you. So this person is against me, I'm going to kill him. This is like a very distorted, disturbed, perverted understanding of Bhagavad Gita. So some people will whimsically understand Bhagavad Gita, who are in this atheistic mindset, this type of mindset where they keep themselves in center, where they have this enjoy lordship propensity. So it's not like we want to enjoy. And then people always say, you've heard, क्या बोलते हैं वो? Krishna kare to ras leela, hum kare to character deela, something like that. So they want to enjoy like Krishna too. And I know you guys cannot understand this concept because you're on the devotional path. I mean, you're in love with Krishna. You're chanting his names. You're glorifying him. You're hearing his glorification on a Saturday morning for like an hour or more. So you have love and submissiveness and servitude for Krishna. So it's hard for you to understand. But there are those atheistic people who are very, very envious of existence of a supreme lord who has the full authority on your life. They want to be in control. They cannot give up control. They want to be the center of attention and everything. I don't know if I can, but it's yes, Mataji.
Sorry, one more thing. Actually, अभी मुझे याद आया, but कई बार ऐसा भी होता है, जैसे कह लो husband is not a believer and wife is a believer, or other way around. तो ये भी हो जाता है कि husband might stop the wife, and because of the envy, that hey, if she does the spiritual activities, she will rise above, then what would I do?
Right.
And so there's a very good discussion. Thank you for bringing all these points.
Yes, Mataji, thank you for sharing. Namita Mataji, you're sharing something?
Hey, Mataji, you explained it beautifully.
So there are people. So Krishna knows that there are those people. They're basically, we can call them atheistic or agnostic people, atheistic people. They're all have this type of subtle enviousness, but it manifests more because since the Lord is not revealed to them, it's very difficult to see their enviousness. They'll just avoid scriptures. They'll just avoid temples. They'll just stay away, right? They'll just enjoy khao piyo aish karo. But so that enviousness is difficult to see in this world, but their enviousness manifests against other people, other species, or other countries. There are so many wars are going on. What is this? All enviousness only, right? So you can see all this conflicts, all this quarrelsome, hypocritical behavior that happens out of envy, just to try to drag other person down. Well, then it's a dog eat dog world. So people try to drag each other down. That's enviousness. You know that famous example of the crab theory, right? I don't know if you're all familiar with the crab theory. So crab theory kya hoti hai? When crabs are kept in a box, okay, the box is left open, and there are many crabs in that box. So when they capture the crabs in a box, they leave the box open. You never have to close the lid of that box with the crabs. So you would think then the crabs can escape. Why don't they put a lid on it? Because there is something called crab mentality. As soon as a crab starts to climb up the box to try to leave it, the other crab will pull his leg and drag him down. Okay. And then the other one starts trying to go up, and then somebody else will drag him down. So they will not be able to escape. So you'll see in a box full of crabs, maybe I'll share a video or something. They're just, he could just climb out of the lid, out of the box and be free. He could be free. They could have all escaped. They could have all escaped, but they didn't let each other escape. And that's why all got killed, all got cooked into crab meat. So this is the crab mentality that a lot of envious people have. Na khud ka bhala hoga, na kisi aur ka bhala karne denge. So they cannot see other people enjoying or other people living their life to fullest, or getting promotions, getting prosperous in their life. So they feel very envious, and they even resort to harmful behavior sometimes. Okay. So I think we can stop here. We didn't do too much today. If you are willing, we can do one more verse, or we can stop and just chant one round. Let me show you. Let me see what the next verse is. Okay, this needs a little bit of discussion, so let's stop here. It's okay. We'll meet next. We'll meet next Saturday again, because Sunday we have program at Puna Mataji's house. So we'll just meet on Saturday and discuss it. Thank you everyone for joining. Very nice questions, very nice discussion. Please keep sharing your realizations, and you can keep reading. Start reading Bhagavad Gita. Write your understandings, questions. Great people write in the margins of the books. Mark Twain used to write in the margins, so you can follow suit. Write in the margins of Bhagavad Gita and share your questions, realizations, reflections, perspectives next time. Hari Bol. Thank you everyone for joining. Vancha kaltarubhyascha kripa sindhubheva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Gurve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya namo namah. Granth Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Guru and Garanga. Hare Krishna.